Okay, hey, it's Mark Delacqua here. It's June the 3rd, 2012. We're going to try to do a quick walk around of my 1993 Reef Blue Ford Mustang. It's the LX model, hatchback, 5-liter. I originally bought the car on Halloween night, 1997. The car had 30,000 original miles, and it was in mint stock condition. No modifications had been done. I believe it belonged to a woman who lived in the Pennsylvania area, because the car came from Mannheim auctions up in PA. So the car was, it was as if it was brand new when I got it. It didn't become modified until I got my hands on it, but my intent from the very beginning was to always maintain the sleeper look, which I think that I've done a pretty good job of doing while spending a whole lot of money under the hood. Speaking of under the hood, the drivetrain here is a 331 cubic inch stroker. We've got forged pistons, forged rods. The motor's been balanced, it's been blueprinted. It's got a Canton 7-quart oil pan on the bottom end. The heads are twisted wedge 185cc runners. These heads are CNC factory ported. It's got a comp cam, custom blower cam. And as you can see, that is a Holley fuel injection, System X fuel injection system. Feeding that is a Vortec blower. This is the S trim. It's also called the SQ, the S trim SQ model. SQ standing for super quiet. The gears are cut a little bit differently, and supposedly it runs quieter than the traditional S trim. Here we have the air to water aftercooler. And feeding this system air here, we have the Anderson power pipe. Part of that system is a Pro-M 80mm mass air unit, and then at the end is the AccuFab 70mm throttle body. This car was initially dynoed straight out of the box. It was 550 rear wheel horsepower, 530 torque. That's with 8 pounds of boost. After some consideration, I figured longevity is just as good as power. So with just a little bit of timing removed, taken out, the numbers dropped to 500 and 480. That's rear wheel horsepower and torque. It's had a one-time run of 1160 at 124 miles an hour. With a better 60-foot time, more practice, with that mile per hour, this car should have no problem running in the high 10s. What we have here is the electronics on this car. What you can't see is it has a 130 amp alternator, which is on the bottom end of the motor. What you can see here is the MSD 6AL. It's got a little program chip for the rev limiter, which is set at 6,200 RPMs, and the shift light is set at 5,800 RPMs. It also has a boost timing retard system. Basically takes timing now at wide open throttle. The amount of time is based on the amount of boost. That's pretty much all I can tell you on that. Fairly new radiator, fairly new cooling system. This radiator is a 2-row system. As you can see, I couldn't get a 3-row in, because if you look at the upper radiator pipe and the blower pulley, there's like no room to go any wider. So we had to stop at 2 rows. Got a Blackmagic electric fan, that's new. It all seems to work rather well. Got an Elderbrock heavy duty high volume water pump, and then also this Moroso overflow coolant reservoir container here, also made out of aluminum. Looks nice. Anyway, as far as the exhaust, it's got BBK long tubes going into a BBK off-road H-pipe going into Flowmaster Super 40s. One thing about this car, as far as its exhaust, it's kind of unique, is that it has electric stainless exhaust cutouts. So you should be able to see that. So basically, at the flick of a switch, which is in here, you've got open headers, which comes in handy at the track. Not to mention on the street, it's good for raising hell. As far as the brakes on this car, they've been completely redone, but the stock specs, the only variation is that they have cross-drilled rotors, as you can see there. So you got power disc up front, drums in the back. The rims, keeping with that sleeper look, I stuck with the factory pony rims. The front tires are BF Goodrich G-Force Super Comp 2s, Z-rated tires, and then on the back BF Goodrich G-Force TAs. This is a drag radial tire, and then on the rear end you've got your LX stainless tips completing the back end of the exhaust. Also part of the fuel system, you have a 10-gallon sump tank right here, and also up in there is a Aeromotive A1000 fuel pump. Back end of the car, got the rear mounted battery, and then 2 more posts on the roll cage. There's more of the back of the car with the fire extinguisher. Other than the fire extinguisher and the roll bar and the boost gauge, we tried to keep it fairly stock looking. Transmission is about a 1-month-old TKO 600. It's got a Steeda triax shifter, has a DFX clutch, and a Fidanza aluminum flywheel. What you're looking at there is a long pistol grip shifter, and the red button on the top is the activation for the line lock system. Also, if I mentioned it, it has a Steeda triax shifter. And in there is our button for the stainless exhaust cutouts. That's pretty much it for the car. Probably what I'll do is just shut this off and then go ahead and start it and run it for about 30 seconds, and that'll end the video.